Hello everyone. So today in this project I have tried to create a simple POC using Azure Application Gateway as well as other components like Azure VM, Azure storage accounts and Azure CDN profiles. So the business problem that my POC tries to solve is I have imagined that there is a company which has which needs to host a website, and in that website they internally want to link two other websites. The very first is their video gallery, and the second one is their portfolio website. In the video gallery, they will be hosting various videos related to their organization, and in the portfolio, they have their portfolio website where they share about their company events, announcements, and so on. And it is expected that both of these pages will receive high traffic. And right now, they have separate HTML code ready for these two. Now what the company needs is that preferably they need their request to be routed to separate backends for both websites. Like if someone tries to connect to the video gallery, then through a single point of contact, they want their request to be routed to the backend which is holding the video content. And of course, they need a good customer experience. Now the solution that I expected for this one is because there is a high traffic, that means they need to load balance the traffic. So for this purpose, what I did is I actually created an Azure application gateway as a load balancer. Now the reason why I choose an Azure application gateway is because it is an intelligent load balancing option, and because it is an intelligent load balancing option, so by that we actually, because it is an intelligent load balancing option, so by that we make sure that it can dig into the URL path. It can find out that okay, if through my public IP address of my Azure application gateway which will be acting as a single point of contact. Now based on the URL path, whether the person wants to visit the portfolio or the person wants to visit the video, so based on that it will redirect them to the backends. Now as part of my portfolio I am only having a single VM which is hosting an Azure portfolio VM, and another VM which is hosting my Azure video gallery. But instead of this, we can have our virtual machine scale sets, we can have our app services, or we can have any other IP addresses. And because they need a good customer experience, for that purpose, I actually connected my video VM, and all I saved all of those video files in a storage account, and then I attached my storage account to Azure CDN. The reason why I choose a storage account is because storage account gives infinite scalability, as we all know, and our Azure CDN will help us to accelerate that content. By that, as we know, the videos are very big files, so by that we make sure that our customers are having no buffering or something like that whenever they are surfing our videos. And one thing that you notice here is that my application gateway is in the same virtual network which is hosted in central India region as of my portfolio VM, but my video VM is in the East US region in East US virtual network. The reason why I did this because I want to show that our application gateway can span multiple regions as well. So, and also I established a global VNet peering. The reason why I established a global VNet peering is because for with that I make sure that my application gateway is accessing the backends through their private IP addresses. Hence, no need of public IP addresses. Now, after understanding briefly about the solution, let us quickly jump into the demo of this. So, so let me quickly jump into the demo of this. So actually, I have registered a domain with this also, which is a free domain for me under GitHub for Student Pack. So this is my app gateway welcome page. Now, if you don't believe me that this is my IP address of my app gateway, let me show you in my portal. So this is my application gateway, which is named as POC, and this is its public IP address. I think one of my backend should be stopped because I stopped the backend to measure its health. Let me reconfirm that. So under the application gateway backend health, you can know about the backends. Yes, I have stopped this video VM. Okay, 1 minute, just a minute. So as you can see, the my backend is connected using the private IP address. We know that this IP address which starts from 10.0.0 is under the private IP address under the RFC 1980 rule. So it reiterates that my backends are actually connected using the private IP addresses, and I can monitor their health. So whether my backend is healthy or not healthy, I'll uh, confirm that by going to the backend health. Now, whenever my backend is unhealthy, it will be giving me a 502 gateway error when I try to access this particular backend. So, right. So I think firstly we should start our virtual machine, our video VM. Let me choose the right subscription. So this is my video VM. As you can see, it is residing in East US region. And right now I stopped it because I want to check whether an alert is triggered whenever my backend is stopped. Because I have also configured monitoring for this. So whenever my backend is unhealthy or something like that, then it gives me an email. But the threshold for it is 5 minutes and it is not being 5 minutes. So that means every 5 minutes it will be checking my backends, and if there is an unhealthy backend, then it will be sending me an email. But because that 5 minute hasn't been completed yet, that is why I have not received any email. So as soon as I'll receive that email, I'll show it to you all. So our virtual machine has been successfully started. Now if I grab the public frontend IP address, as we know that the application gateway contains a public IP. So yeah, so this is the public IP address of my application gateway. So it is showing me, it is my welcome page, welcome to Nginx. Now here comes the path based routing. Whenever I say portfolio, then it will be backing me to the different backend. It will be redirecting me to the VM which is hosting my portfolio website. So this is my portfolio website. As you can see, I am an BSc Maths graduate from Kanpur and I have my subjects as physics, chemistry and mathematics. So it is just of my portfolio website. But in the same IP address, when I say video, then it will be redirecting me to the video VM. So it is a video gallery with CDN. Now, how can you believe that it is using CDN behind the scenes? So whenever you will grab its IP address, so you can see the IP address of this is Azure Edge.net. So as you know that Azure CDN gives us Azure Edge.net. Right? And this particular thing, I am actually explaining about my SQL. So how you can write SQL queries. Now let me show you the VMs. So though my public IP address with my VMs is strictly not needed because my backends are connecting. Let me also copy. Yeah, so public IP address is actually not needed for my VMs, but for only for demo purposes. Let me show that to you. So if I say, so this is my video VM. As you can see, the IP address is different. So this is my application gateway's IP address. This is my application gateway IP address. Let me note down for you. My app gateway IP address. And this is my VM IP address. I'm just noting down this IP address so that you can't say that you are showing me the same IP address again and again. So it is not the same IP address. These are different IP address. So this is my video VM IP address, which is residing in my East US region. Similarly, I also have a VM which is hosting my portfolio website. So let me also grab its public IP address. So this is a VM. As you can see, it is residing in Central India region, Central India, and I have also copied its public IP address. Now, whenever I say, and now, as you can see, it is hosting my portfolio website. So these are all different IP addresses. Let me also. So this is my portfolio VM. And you can see the IP addresses for all of these are different. So these are so based on the IP address of the URL, it is directing me to different backends. Now, having understood the architecture of my solution and the demo of it, so what are the features of it? The very first is that it gives me intelligent path-based routing. By intelligent path-based routing, I mean that I do not need to replicate the similar content to each and every VM, because if in place of Azure Application Gateway, if I would have used any simple load balancing option like Azure Load Balancer, or you can like, so what, because the Azure Load Balancer is not a intelligent load balancing solution. It works on layer 4 of OSI model, so it can't peep into the URL. So to give the backends, I actually have to do is I have to replicate, I have to upload the same HTML code to every backend. And then, well, like if I have a web server, though based on the location tag in the configuration file, I have to redirect the traffic. So what it gives, it not gives me easy management. So whenever I want to update my virtual machines, then I have to update each and every backend. Like for example, if I have to add a new video, then I have, if I have 15 virtual machines running in the backend, then I have to update all those 15 virtual machines only for one single video upload. That's of course not a very you can say a fruitful solution. So instead of that, what I did is I separately have a video backend. So whenever I have to upload a video, I will simply update this particular backend. I don't have to touch my portfolio backend. So if I have my, out of 15, I have my 5 virtual machines, for example, as my video backend, then I will, or instead if I have a virtual machine scale set, through connection draining, I can redirect the traffic to somewhere else. And after that, once it is all updated, I'll again redirect the traffic to my backend. Hence, little downtime or no downtime, right? So based on that, I can do that. And second one, it also gives me monitoring options. So I can monitor my backends. I can monitor what is. So if I go to my application gateway, so I can monitor with the HTTP requests come in. I can monitor. Let me grab one. Hmm. So here you can see that I can get the total number of requests coming, number of failed requests, HTTP responses like 4xx responses, 2 axis which is for successful responses, 3 axis errors, 5 axis. So based on that, I can see the throughput also, some throughput, average health count. So whenever my instances are healthy, whenever they are not, current number of connections. So a number of metrics I can see over here. So I can monitor it. Third, it is fault tolerant because my load balancer is spanning multiple availability zones in a single region. Because we know that load balancer needs a separate subnet in which it is deployed in a particular virtual network, and it is nothing but a lot of number of machines behind the scenes. So it is spanning multiple availability zones. So by this, I make sure that if the entire data center in a India region goes down, then also I have two data centers which will be receiving and acting upon my requests, because I don't want my single point of failure to be down anyhow, right? And of course, it gives private connectivity to the backends. As we know that there is a public IP address associated. So this is my public IP address of my backends, of my video backend and my portfolio backend. But my application gateway is not connecting to them by using their public IP address. It is actually using the private IP addresses, as we know. And for this configuration, I have made a single listener which is listening on HTTP. So as you can see, these are the very little features, and I can go even beyond that. I can go for SSL termination so that I can make sure that my SSL certificates, my TLS certificates are encrypted and decrypted by the application gateway, so my virtual machines do not have to do any kind of extra work for SSL offloading. I can do in addition to path based routing, I can do multi-site routing. So there are a lot of more features that needs yet to be explored. But with the present features, if you ask me that what is the pricing for this, then the estimated cost for this is rupees 30 per hour, because there is a fixed charge associated with Azure Application Gateway. There is a data out charge. So whenever the data is going out of my Azure Application Gateway, then it is being charged. The number of time hours it is being available and running. And similarly for my VMs, whenever my VMs are running, the data transfer charge is also being there. The data transfer charge also associated with my CDNs and storage account. So I have estimated that it will be getting me 30.8 rupees per hour. So if you want a detailed estimation, then you can please let me know. Then I can also give you a detailed explanation. Now this comes to an end of my Azure this project. I hope you like it. So in case if you want to connect to me, you can simply go to you are welcome to please go to my website, which is my portfolio website, and you can also search me on LinkedIn. Hope you like it. Please let me know your suggestions, your feedback, because your suggestions and feedback will help me to grow more and to improve myself and to learn new things also. Thank you so much. Hope you like it.